She looked at me during our argument and said, "If you don't like me going on this trip with my friend, then file for divorce." So I did. Stick with me while I share my story, and if it touches you, don't forget to support our channel by hitting that subscribe button, dropping a like, and sharing it with the people you care about. My name is Ethan. I truly believe my marriage was strong. We had been together for years, built a home, shared plans for the future. Things were normal until she started talking about a new coworker. At first, it sounded harmless. Just stories from work. Then his name kept coming up. Late meetings became common. She smiled at her phone more than she smiled at me. When she told me about the Miami trip, something felt wrong. She didn't ask how I felt. She told me I was overreacting. When I tried to explain that I was uncomfortable, she turned it on me. She said I was insecure and controlling. Then came the sentence that changed everything. "If you don't trust me, file for divorce." She expected me to stay quiet. I didn't. A few months later, everything was final. The papers were signed. The house was sold. Our lives went in different directions. It was strange at first, waking up in a quiet place that felt both empty and peaceful. But the peace slowly became something I valued. I focused on myself. I worked more, spent time at the gym, reconnected with old friends. I started sleeping better. I wasn't checking anyone's phone. I wasn't wondering where someone was at midnight. My mind felt clear. One afternoon, I ran into her by accident at a coffee shop. She looked tired. Not the confident woman who once challenged me to file for divorce. We talked for a few minutes. She said things hadn't worked out the way she expected. She asked if I ever missed what we had. I thought about it carefully. "I miss what I believe we had," I told her. That was the truth. She gave me an ultimatum, thinking I would never leave. But sometimes the strongest move isn't fighting louder. It's walking away quietly. She told me to file for divorce if I didn't like her trip with a friend. So I did. And choosing myself was the best decision I ever made. She called me the second she got the papers. Her voice was shaking. She wasn't sad. She was angry. "How could you do this at my job?" she asked. I reminded her calmly that she told me to file if I didn't like the trip. There was a long silence on the phone. For the first time, she had no quick answer. That night she came home crying. She admitted things went too far. She said it wasn't planned. She said she felt lonely. She tried to explain it as a mistake that just happened. But mistakes don't last for months. Mistakes don't involve secret hotel rooms. Then something else happened. The man she risked our marriage for started pulling away. Once he realized the divorce was real, he stopped calling as much. He didn't want drama. He didn't want responsibility. He slowly disappeared. During mediation, everything was handled calmly and legally. The evidence made the process straightforward. Assets were divided fairly. There was no screaming, no begging from me. Later, she asked if we could fix things, if we could try again. I looked at her and realized something important. The trust was gone. A few days after she came back, something unexpected happened. I was using our tablet at home when a notification popped up. Photos had been synced automatically from her phone. I opened them without thinking. What I saw made everything clear. There were pictures of her and him in the same hotel room. Not at a work event. Not in a group setting. Just the two of them, smiling too closely. One photo was taken late at night. Another showed room service on a single small table by the bed. I didn't feel rage. I felt calm. The kind of calm that comes when the last piece of a puzzle falls into place. I saved the photos and sent them to my lawyer. She told me to stay quiet and let the legal process move forward. So I did. When my wife talked about the trip, she lied easily. She said they had separate rooms. She said I was imagining things. I looked at her and nodded. I didn't argue anymore. A week later, she was served divorce papers at her office. That was the moment everything changed. The next morning, I didn't argue. I didn't beg her to stay. I didn't try to prove anything. I simply called a lawyer and scheduled a consultation. My hands were shaking, but my voice was steady. For the first time in a long time, I felt clear. While she packed for her trip, I started paying attention to things I had ignored before. I checked our shared credit card statements. There were charges I didn't recognize. Fancy dinners. Hotel bookings that didn't match any business travel. Expensive gifts. The dates lined up with the nights she said she was working late. She left for Miami like nothing was wrong. She posted smiling pictures online. Beach views, cocktails, group photos. But in some pictures I noticed small details. 2 wine glasses at sunset. A man's reflection in her sunglasses. It wasn't proof, but it wasn't innocent either. She texted me like everything was normal. I kept my replies short and calm. No anger. No accusations. Just distance. Inside, something had shifted. I wasn't trying to save the marriage anymore. I was preparing to end it the right way.